The case of religious accommodation at York University in Ontario has sparked some debate over what rights both students and teachers have. A male student requested to be separated from his female classmates because of religious reasons. He did not state what his religion was, but the professor was adamant that he would not concede to that request. The student didn't put up a fight and actually agreed to participate alongside women, but the professor found himself at odds with the university administration, who told him to make it clear to the student that he did not have to work with women. With us this morning to talk more about this issue is employment lawyer Natalie Macdonald. So good to have you here.
Thank you, Marcy. Thank you for having me
So
today.
we just explained a little bit about this case. What do you make of it?
Well, I mean, I think this situation is particularly distressing due to the discriminatory nature of the request. Really, what the gentleman was asking for was to not be in a room with women. And of course, that unto itself was discriminatory in the sense that it marginalizes women. It has the impact of marginalizing women. And this type of situation is not what happens in Canada, nor should it happen in Canada. So the fact that the accommodation request was even granted at one point is preposterous.
Does religion have a role here, though? Because he says it's his religion, although we don't know which religion it is.
Right.
He says it's a religious situation.
Well, I believe that that's what he cloaked it as. I'm not aware of a religion actually allowing that, but the fact is this type of request having been made is the issue, and the fact that it was granted is the issue, because if it is granted, this is going to open up Pandora's box for anyone who doesn't want to interact with anyone else to be able to come forward and say that they don't want to do so on the basis of religion, sexual orientation, creed, or race. And the fact is we have a human rights code in place to protect against that. Now, if we translate that to the workplace, we may have employees who are sitting in cubicles who are saying, well, I don't want to interact with this person based on the fact that my religion doesn't allow it. I mean, what are we opening up here?
Yeah, the ramifications are huge.
They are.
What about the dean?
What about the dean?
The dean with this York University situation,
well,
his stance in the first place.
Well, I mean, I can't really comment as to what the dean, decided or why the dean decided to grant the accommodation request, but the fact is, when I deal with employers and employees, as my partner Stuart Rudner and I do, we deal with accommodation requests on a very regular basis. And if that accommodation request is not reasonable to begin with, then it's not granted. And if the employer does not grant accommodation where there is a reasonable request, then you could have extraordinary damages if the employee decides to bring a lawsuit based on non-accommodation or refusal to accommodate. But in this case, that's not what happened at all. The request itself should never, ever have been granted. And that's the real concern that I think most Canadians are looking at today.
Ms. Macdonald, great to have you in on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marcia. It's a pleasure.